Ocean skiing, or long distance skiing as this sport's called, has grown really from the surf life-saving side of things, where people have been rescued on surf skis for years and they've held competitions for years and years. These skis aren't designed for going in and out of the break like the other skis. They're actually for going outside and riding the big rollers. So they're for travelling distances at speed, very much like a racing K1, but designed specifically for the ocean. These skis are even longer than a racing K1, so they're 21 feet as opposed to 17 feet. In theory, with the longer water line, that should make them faster. They're not much wider, to be fair. The big difference in these is you sit essentially not inside as you would with a racing kayak, but on top. However, on top, they've dug a big hole for you to sit on the top, so your seating position is really very, very low, below the water line, whereas in a racing K1 it'd be above the water line. And that's where these boats get their stability from, really. Apart from the fact the hull is shaped slightly different to give you more stability, and definitely more secondary stability when you're out in the waves. It's really the seating position being so low that's the main difference. The boats are so capable and so stable that once you learn that it won't go over, you can relax into it, and that's really not. We're out there today, it might have looked a little bit rough, but you don't even think of it as rough anymore. I don't even notice that as rough, which is quite a big progression from where I was just a year ago. I think again that's flat water based mentality, because in the K1s, if that boat goes off centre, you've got to correct it, and you've got to correct it now or you go in. But the amount of secondary stability in these, you can go over quite a long way before it goes in. And once you learn to accept that and you're happy with the boat being at 30 degrees off centre, you just crack on with it. Whereas, a lot of the flat water guys will find that hard, letting the boat go that far. Being a long boat and having a long water line, steering is obviously an issue. The rudders on these are much bigger than a flat water kayak, simply because when your nose is down, the tail's up. So you need the rudder to be going down far enough that it actually makes contact with the water. They're a different shape also. They're massively efficient, these rudders, and rather than being operated with a little tiller bar between your feet, which is quite dainty if you like, for the small corrections you need to make on the flat water, these are operated by a pedal, very simple system, push right to go right, and you have a lot of force, and you can apply force while you're still paddling forwards, which is crucial when you're changing direction on a runner. My background's flat water, both sprint and marathon. I was more successful on the marathon side. I enjoy, the marathon side's all about similar things to this really. It's about finding the right wave and sitting on it for as long as you can. It's an efficiency sport. So I've got an ability to sit on a wave. Coming to this is though a massive change again. I mean, you're looking at a totally different mindset. Your field of vision has to change drastically from being in the flat water marathons. Reading the ocean, which is constantly changing, as opposed to the waves in a marathon, which you know where they're going to be, you know where the next one's going to be. It's really very simple. But in this, you're looking for something that just, to me, seems to appear and disappear at random. It's really interesting. It's another mindset change. I mean, I've done races against our best surf ski paddlers here and been beaten them occasionally. But what you find is, if you concentrate on doing what you're supposed to be doing, you do quite well. The moment you start wondering where the next guy is, which is what I've done for a lifetime, I need to know where everyone else is. In this sport, once your mind starts wandering to that, you're just all over the place and you don't make any progress at all. So yeah, it's a big shift mentality-wise of just concentrating on what you have to do.
Right.
got a coastline that is massive and people living all around the edge. I mean, at the moment, certainly the flat water paddlers are all based inland, but there's a whole coastal population that can get into it straight off, yeah. And to be fair, we don't mind getting cold, do we? We're kind of used to it. There's a lot of interest bubbling under at the moment. I mean, you saw last week in Bournemouth, quite a big field there. Probably not much bigger numerically than the same race the year before. The big difference is now, though, that most of the boats in that race last week were the long distance skis. Last year there were 2 or 3 long distance skis and everyone else paddled the spec skis. Also at Bournemouth this year, all the kids who do the surf lifesaving, suddenly they're interested in having a go in one of these, and there's a big shift. Also among the flat water guys, there are people asking all the time now about these, and you can see it's just going to get bigger and bigger.